right. Good morning, Extreme.
Good morning.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. All right, folks, we have a rockin' sales meeting for you here today, but our tradition is always to welcome any guests that we have and any new team members. And I always love the fact that it puts people on the spot, you know? I get a thrill out of watching them go, I had to introduce myself. But I think this first one's not gonna have any problem with this at all. So we have an honored guest here today. And all of you with Extreme, I expect you to be on your best behavior. Jeff? Just stand up and introduce yourself, please.
My name is Connie Cooper. I got my license in March, and I haven't really done anything with it because I had a full-time job. So I got laid off, and now I've decided to do real estate 100% of the time. And I'm researching brokers to see where I'll be best fit.
The best right.
So after today,
All right. So after today, there's a good chance I'll be wrong.
All right.
right.
Absolutely. Welcome, welcome. Let me see. I think that's it for guests, but we have several new team members here. Let's go ahead and start with the second row. Deb, you're up.
Hi, my name's Deb Johnson. I just started last week and glad to be here.
All right. Donald.
My name is Don Zabrowski. I also started last week. Got my license at the end of October and was looking for the right mix and found all the benefits of a big agency without the cost of a big agency here. So I found a home right here at Xtreme.
That's that blue one. Okay. And the last row, Alexandra, you're up.
Hi, how are you? I got my license in June and I decided to take the summer to be with my daughter. Started about 2 weeks ago and I'm excited to be here.
All right. Rob, this is your first meeting, right?
No, I was actually at the last meeting.
Oh, okay, all right. So you dodged the bullet there. Martha, you're up. Introduce yourself.
My name is Marsha Huachi, and the reason I'm here is because of Consuelo. She told me that this is the best place to be.
Yeah, and Judy in the back there, stand up and be recognized.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Judy, actually Udelki Castano. I've been licensed since 2001, and when the market crashed, I went back to the workforce as an employee. And I decided to come back to the real estate and have my own schedule and be free a little bit more. So I'm happy to be here and be part of the family.
Awesome. We're glad to have you here. All right. Listen, so we have a lot in store here, but we have a developer that's going to come in and speak, but they're not quite here yet. So let's talk 2017. The year is not over yet. Don't even think it's over yet. There's still plenty of time to generate income between now and the end of the year. But successful business people are already thinking 2 and 3 quarters ahead. So what you do now, because the window of time, if you have any new business you create for it to close between now and the end of the year, that window is closing. So we want you to go out there and generate activity. Just realize that a lot of those closings are going to happen when? First quarter. Okay. They promised me a live class, and you guys can participate anytime you want. Okay. So what happens is you got to start putting those in production right now. So how many of you would be okay if next year you made $100,000? How many of you would be okay with that? Okay. Now, I like the fact that several heads went, no, that would be a step down for me. I understand. I understand. I was talking to the newer folks, okay, the newer folks. So the veterans, you know what, who wants a pay cut, right? But how about this? Can we just use, for the purpose of just conversation, let's pretend $100,000 still means something. All right, can we do that? Okay, so I want to share with you a formula. I shared it yesterday during our boot camp. I think it really helped people put in perspective that it's a very doable task to make 6 figures in this industry. Now, doable doesn't mean easy, because the national average of real estate earnings is in the 30s. So if you make 6 figures, you're 3 times the national average. So, and to be also realistic, if you're brand new, it might be a lot to ask in your first year. But last time I checked, you're in this for the long term. And what if you didn't hit it the first year, or maybe not even the second year, but by the 3rd year, you were up to 100,000 a year. Would that be a good thing? Okay, would it make some positive changes in your life and in your family's lives? I'm sorry, what was that?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing, and most people need a little help this way. I believe in sales that we need to break things down to the ridiculous. Because when you look at a goal of making $100,000 a year, that can seem overwhelming. Let's go ahead and break it down. And we're gonna move through this kind of quickly. I just wanna give you some food for thought, and I also want you already to be thinking in terms of what your income and production goals are. You already need to be planning that out. What do you want to make next year? So let's start with the premise of 100,000, the variables, what the average sales price is going to be. Obviously, if you are focusing on $50,000 and $75,000 units, it's going to take you longer. If you're in a $750 or $800 range, you're going to get there much quicker. For the sake of argument, not to make it too crazy, let's use the median price of say $250,000, which is right in line with where we are in Broward County. Next, what do you think the average commission that the office is going to make? And then what do you think your split level is going to be? So if you take the folks that are just starting and the folks that are with us a long time, 80 is about a good average. And typically, the other side is going to offer, say, 3 sandwiches to our side if you go ahead and sell their property. So using that, we can use 6,000 as being a reasonable number. All of you have that in front of you there. You guys have that sheet we passed out. So now that we have the variable in place, you take 100,000, you divide it by 6,000, you got to close 17 deals or 17 sides. Think about that. 17 sides. If you double end it, that's half as many deals. All right, so we're using 17. That's the magic number. Now, continue to work backwards. To close 17, you can't necessarily put 17 deals in escrow because not all of them are going to close. So we're going to assume a very high fallout rate of say 30%. Because I believe that with the kind of training we provide here, with the support we provide here, the teammates that we have assisting you, you should be able to close the majority of your deals. But let's not get too aggressive, 30%. So that means you got to put 24 transactions together. You guys with me on that? You put 24 deals in the hopper. Keep working backwards. To get 24 buyers to say, I'll take that one, what if you're working with a 50% closing rate? Okay? Now think about this. If you do things as we teach, you're not going to put someone in your car that's not approved. Someone that's not motivated, ready, willing, and able to buy. So the numbers should be significantly higher than that, but let's just use this in a conservative way. So that means that if only 50% of them buy, you need 48 good, solid prospects to be working with. Okay, you with me so far? Keep working backwards. How are you going to get to 48 solid prospects? Well, you're going to first have to look at what kind of a conversion rate you're going to have. Let's say, because you know people are tire kickers, they call off of Zillow, they call off of Petrulia. You don't know if they're really serious or serious in that moment. Let's say you only are able to convert 2.5%. Of all the calls you receive, only 2.5% are converted. Wow, you're going to have to generate 1,920 leads. With me so far? Now, that number starts to get up there, you start freaking out a little bit, you're going, that's not even humanly possible. Well, hold on. How many months are you going to work in the year? I'm a big believer you got to take some time off. Maybe 2 weeks in the summer, 2 weeks toward the end of the year. You got to connect with your family, you got to recharge. You got to make sure you remember what your why is for being in this business. So you're going to work 11 solid months. You with me? All right, so take the 1920 divided by 11. You got to generate 175 new leads per month. Okay, how many days a week are you going to work? How many days a month are you going to work? Some of you are putting in 7. Okay, if you're putting in 2 or 3, we got to talk. Okay, because that's probably affecting your production somewhat. I believe when you first start out, you got to prime that pump and you got to make sacrifices. If your why is your family and you want to spend time with your kids, the way you spend a lot more time with them in the future is to devote some time into your business right now. You can't have it both ways. Okay, people have tried, it doesn't work. So let's say, for example, Sundays is your time for faith and family. you're gonna work 6 days. So you're gonna put in 24 days a month into the effort. All right, take the 175 divided by 24, 7 new leads per day. Not easy. You're gonna have to do some serious marketing to get the phone to ring 7 times a day. Now, how do you get there besides hoping and praying for the phone to ring? You prospect. Nobody says you have to wait for the phone to ring. You can pick it up. You can call expirers. You can go ahead and call for sale by owners. You can knock on doors. You can go ahead and buy into what we're doing here and really engaging in the short sale arena. More on that later. But even though you put all of those pieces together, 7 is not an easy number. Everyone understand how we arrived at that? Okay, now we're gonna go to the second page, because I believe that something happens when you do this business for a little while. You get better. First time I ever spoke was the worst class I ever taught. And I believe from then on I got better and better and better as I went on. So when you first start, you're stumbling, you're mumbling, you don't have it all together, but you get better. So we're gonna keep the variables the same. The difference is, this time around, your fallout rate drops by 10%, you're only losing 20%, and I still think that's too much, but just to be conservative. Look what happens now. Instead of having to put 24 transactions in the pipeline to close 17, you only have to put 21 in there now. What do you think is going to happen to your conversion rate the longer you're in this business? You think you can get from a 50% to a 60%? Again, you've sat down with the buyers, you've interviewed them, you've had them pre-approved, you've gone through the good, the bad, and the ugly, you showed them everything you're prepared to do and what they can expect. I think you should get more than that, but just to be safe, you go ahead and get 60%. So that means you need 35 strong prospects. Now, from there, per year, your conversion rate gets better on the leads, because you start learning that there are things you say over the phone and the things you don't. How many of you ever gotten a haircut? Did you do it over the phone? Or did you have to come in? CITO, C-I-T-O, as Floyd Whitman would say, come into the office. You become better at converting people, engaging them in conversation, getting them past the smoke screens. So now you double, and you're at a 5% conversion rate, so you only need 700 leads now for the entire year, divided by the 11 months, 64 per month, divided by the 24 days, now you're at 3 per day. Is that more manageable? Does it start to come together a little bit better? Now, this is still no easy task. No easy task. Now, here's the secret. How many of you are truly serious about making this kind of money or more? Please, help me out. Okay? This is the hard way. And this is the way that most agents choose to do it, including many of you in this room right now. I prefer you get it the easier way. Not the easy, but the easier way. The easier way is if you need 21, how many? 17 sites? How about taking 17 listings? The likelihood that all 17 of those are going to sell is very high. Okay, so what do you think is easier? Running around, working 6 days a week, trying to put all these people in your car, trying to keep all these transactions alive, trying to hang in there through all these appraisals and inspections and all this thing, or maybe, just maybe, becoming a master at taking listings. Knowing that if you do your job well and you price it correctly, the vast majority of these are going to sell. Now, what do listings create? Buyer leads. What do listings create? More listings. That's the secret. What is standing in your way? Self-confidence, belief that maybe you're not quite ready. Have you ever known a real estate agent to get ready, to get ready, to get ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I should put a limit on how many times people could come to any one class I teach. I think I may. Because there comes a point I can't teach you anymore. You just gotta go out there and actually talk to a human being. Because that's what happens. People come into, because we're safe here, right? We're all friends. You know, we can talk and everything else. And then the meeting is over, and you gotta go actually talk to a human being, and you're like, wait a minute, they might say no. Listen, if you ever dated, you know what no's all about, right, Patrick?
Yep. Right.
That was rude. Nobody ever said no to Patrick. So how are you gonna get more listings? Here's one way: embrace short sales. So when we started doing the short sale 101 classes a couple of weeks ago, I made a little prediction, and that is that we're gonna be copied. What do you see now? The short sale classes are starting to spring up in different areas. All right? No real estate office is going to have the advantage that you all are going to have as far as being ready to go out there and capture this market share. The Florida Supreme Court made a ruling. The timing was unbelievable. It was just after we did our first 101 series. And the ruling was all these folks that have been in the foreclosure process now for over 5 years that were believed that they had exceeded the limit that the lenders could foreclose on, thinking I got me a free house. Okay, they don't. The Supreme Court shot that down. All of those are going to be re-foreclosed on. And what percentage of those folks are going to be able to keep their home? Probably 0.0001. So that means the only alternative for them is to leave. Well, there's only one way to exit from that property with dignity, and that's a short sale. And when properly done, they don't interview you. Who does the interview? You do. You set the stage. You create the environment that you decide if you're ready, willing, and able to work with them based on their motivation to get out and get on with their lives. So this is why we are going to take the lead in the short sale arena. Tomorrow we have short sale 201. For those of you that went through 101, this is the next level for you. If you miss 101, you can pick up again in December. No, I'll take January. Unfortunately, with the holidays, the number of days we have for training has shrunk. But my commitment for the office is that in January, we're going to do the short sale series at night. We're going to offer it at night as well, so the part-timers can participate. And I've already set a date for the short sale 301 that we are going to get in before the end of the year. Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to do the listing presentation. I'm going to share with you how to list that property. And it's going to include all the paperwork that you need to gather and what forms you need to use. Both the forms that are required by the state and the internal forms that we use that provide the largest level of protection for all of us. So you're gonna walk out of here ready to go. In fact, one of our agents got a hold of me yesterday and said, listen, Tony, a friend of mine, property is going up for auction today. His attorney is going there to try to go ahead and buy some time. Maybe we can help these folks. I checked up on him afterward and said, so what happened with the extension? We got it until February. Okay, so it's time to list it. He goes, what do I do? You come to my meeting tomorrow and you're gonna know exactly how to take that short sale. Okay, so this could be a real game changer. And don't think it's gonna become all you do. No, it's not gonna become all you do. But I was around, I was licensed back in 08, 07, when the first wave of foreclosures hit, and I saw how many agents were ill-prepared. I saw how ill-prepared the industry was. And the reality is that most real estate agents, and I'm talking to you out there in Facebook land, go to your broker, go to your sales manager right now, go to whoever they call themselves, and say, should I work short sales? And they're gonna tell you what? No. They're gonna say, stay away from them. They don't work, they don't close, they don't this, they don't that. And you know why they do that? The vast majority of them? Because they don't understand it themselves. So why would they want their agents engaged in an area of the business that when they come to them with a question, they won't be able to answer? Extreme agents, you're gonna dominate. You're gonna take this to another level. And not everyone's gonna buy in. You know, everyone that came to 101 probably won't be here tomorrow. Now 301 is working with the buyer in a short sale. Whether you ever take a short sale listing or not, which you should, you're gonna work with a buyer in a short sale. And you better know how the whole process works. So that's 301. By the time you graduate to all three, you are ready. And even if you're not, we got your back. The whole point is, this is what we've set up here. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be able to address every concern and every issue. You just need to get them here. Because who can meet with them and get them to sign?
Tony Martinez.
I'll do it. And whose deal would that be? The agents. You know what? You can make so much money if you just got people to come into the office. I ain't making no house calls. Okay, homie don't play that. I ain't going there. But you get them here. How do you get them here? Send them a link to one of my radio show podcasts where I covered how bad foreclosure is. And you say, this is the guy that I work for. This is the guy that I can get maybe to sit down with you for 45 minutes and explain the real deal. Get them here, they'll sign by the time we're done.
Where do I find that? Where you put this?
Well, we'll send you the link. It's realestateanswermanshow.com. 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 If that's not the correct link, someone let me know and I'll give it to you before the end. There's about 29 different podcasts that are on there. And we covered a variety of topics, but distressed properties was a big one. Okay? All right, we're good? All right, time to do some acknowledging here, okay? We are having some amazing, amazing things going on with the company. You know, we're gonna have our Thanksgiving luncheon. I don't know about you, but Gabi and I are very thankful that you picked us. You could have picked a lot of different people, but you picked us. And we're thankful to have you in our lives. And the company is just, it's amazing, all the different areas that we're expanding on. And it's impossible to acknowledge what every single person has done. But you guys that are on WhatsApp and you're following, you see that we're taking some incredible listings. Okay, the home seller team just took an amazing listing right over here in Long Lake. Yeah. Oh, okay, but that one's like 1 point something million. What is it?
Yeah,
1.35 million. Okay, Viviana took a listing in Doral, 1.9 million. Mayor has his listings. I mean, we got Heidi and her team working with international buyers for buying hotels. Okay, it's amazing the different things. We got the Lake Placid office. We got our partner here at Eastside. Hey, think about it. 1 year of just her and Wilma with no office before we ever had the brick and mortar store, and we're number 13 in listing volume in Lake Placid without even having an office there. So we're 5 agents strong in that area, and it's going to get really, really exciting. So the areas that we're looking to build on is Orlando. Continue to build the Orlando office. The Brickell office is going to continue to get exciting. You have some exciting things going on in Orlando, right, Heidi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay, all right, thanks for being, normally I can't shut her up, now she's just gonna, like you got first time homebuyer seminars coming up?
Yes, coming
whatever?
up next month in January, yes.
Awesome, how'd your first time homebuyer seminar go?
Went pretty good. Had a good show out. And got some leads from it.
And you guys did that in Miramar, right?
We did it in Miramar.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we ought to hold a first time homebuyer seminar here.
Yeah.
And it should be one where everyone can feed their buyers to, what do you think?
Sounds
Okay,
good.
so we'll put it on the books, okay? We'll get that happening, so now, I'm gonna put someone on the spot. I'm gonna put someone that just doesn't like speaking in front of people, but he's gonna do it for me as a favor and a friend. And that, how many of you have heard me over and over say that in order for you to be successful in this business working with buyers, you need to get the buyer-broker agreement signed? How many of you have heard me say that? Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. There is one particular team. Astrid, do you wanna handle this? You know, the Roga Realty team gets the buyer-broker agreement signed how often? Every single time. So while we're going ahead and preparing for the presentation and the computer and everything here is coming up, I'm gonna ask Mr. Jose Rojas to come to the front. Some of you know him as Clark Kent. Come on, Superman. Absolutely. Send me an email. Okay. Okay, so By the way, for those of you that don't, this is Jose Rojas, okay? Long-term friend of the family, and you've been in the business how long now?
2.5 years.
That long? Does that sound right, 2.5 years?
September 14, 2014.
Seems like, yeah, 2 years, yeah. Seems like only yesterday. Yeah, he was much younger then. So, how's your year going?
Good.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of activity.
Yeah.
Okay, so share with the team, how is it that you're able to get in every single scenario when you're working with a buyer, you're able to get them to commit to you by using the buyer-broker agreement? And is he still on the camera there? Can you see him over there, camera person? That would be Patrick. Can you see him in this? He's there? He's there?
Super big, yeah, super big, yeah. It's
Can you see him?
yeah, I see him.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Do some touch up and a little.
Excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
Johnny, is that Facebook Live?
Huh?
Is that Facebook Live?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I don't see it.
It's not a.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Never mind. Go to
It's about how we use the.
Buyer's agreement. So.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you for
Hello,
coming.
Jose.
Well, first of all, you have to convey the necessity or the advantages of this buyer's agreement. First of all, you have to believe that it is for your client's best interest to have that signed, because that's the only way that I can present with confidence. That is not because I want to take advantage of you, is because I want to commit with you, and it's how we formalize the relationship. You be my client, I am your realtor, and it's that's what I think from the very beginning. That is for her advantage. When I believe that strongly, I'm able to easily convey that to them. And it's, as far as implementation, it's not the first thing that I said to them. Perhaps the second, even the third time that I go to showings, now that I see their commitment, now that I see that, yes, they are, that he likes or she likes me, is when I said to them, listen, it is time, but let me see, I wasn't prepared for this, sorry.
No, he's doing great. Give him a hand, he's doing great.
Well, now I remember that because I've been working with listers and a little rusty with buyers, but what I also do the very first time that I met them is that I show them that paper. I don't go through the details, nothing. I just show them, listen, not today, but later on, if you like me, if I meet your expectations, I would like to sit down and discuss this exclusive buyer's agreement. And I tell them about the brokerage fee. I tell them about the protection period, something like that. That is very not into details. And that is after the first time that I show houses, that I see her commitment and he see my work, how I put time and I devote time to show into the details and all that. And after that first interaction that day is when I don't know how I do it, it's just that I see, yes, it's time to introduce these. Sometimes though I don't, I don't know. But that's how it has helped us to know that, at the end of the day, I do have a client, and I don't know, that's the way it is.
So I have a question. So would you allow, would you show property without having that sign?
Yeah, the first time.
The first time, but after that?
After that, no. I mean, first time that I go out with them, I show them the paper, and based on her reaction.
So they can read it?
Yes, I show them. It's a paper, it's a document. Second time is when I try to, okay, let's sit down, let's put this together and all that. And it's when somebody says something, it's better, if you're gonna lose somebody, it's better to do it earlier than later.
Correct.
I love when they say, no, I don't want to, at the very beginning, fine, I mean, next.
They don't even know if they like you at that point.
Yeah.
They'll establish a rapport first.
Correct,
and then they
correct,
sign.
yes. So, yeah, it's not something that I talk over the phone, it's when I meet person to person. And also I'm trying to implement the CETO, not necessarily here because I'm in Coral Springs, and sometimes my clients are there, so in a Starbucks or, you know, something like that, where I go to the buyer's questionnaire. You can go to Google and buyer's questionnaire and thousands of buyer's questionnaires. You can put your own logo, you can customize. And when I go through the process, what do you like, what you don't like, et cetera, is when I also introduce the idea of the exclusive buyers agreement. Okay. Once again, sorry, I wasn't prepared, that's why I'm going back and
One more
forth.
question, Jose, because we have some new agents around here, but just real quick, can you please tell them what is the buyer broker agreement, because so, very quick, what is
The
it?
exclusive buyer's broker agreement is basically a paper where you formalize the relationship that the buyer is going to work exclusively for you, not for you, with you, I'm sorry. And also you commit, the broker, myself also commit to work in the best interest for them. And there's obviously a protection period where if he decides not to work with you for whatever reason, there might be some consequences.
But sometimes it's like if Jose show a property and then the client decides to go with another realtor and he didn't know, even though the other realtor sell the house, he will receive the commission because of that paper.
Yeah, that's it.
Excellent, and
That's
that's.
about
But
it.
the exclusive buyer broker agreement is one, I think, the most powerful forms, contracts, and the most seldom used. And the reality is that it's used so seldomly because agents lack confidence in what you bring to the table. Because every time I introduce it, the agent will say, well, how am I gonna get that person to sign it? Well, the way you get them to sign it is you create value. Okay, you're not gonna sign it and say, okay, here's why I need you to sign this agreement. So that if you turn around and decide to work with somebody else, I still get paid. Guess what? That's not gonna go very far.
No.
But if you go ahead and say, one of the reasons why you should consider signing this is by signing it, I now work for you. Because you're paying me. Because the way that contract works is they're agreeing to pay you a certain amount. You're not gonna work for anything less than X percentage. And whatever amount is recovered by the seller goes and offsets that. So let's say for the sake of argument, Jose says, I wanna work for 2.5 sandwiches, 3 sandwiches. Well, if the other side's paying that, it's a wash. But the protection there is if that person decides to completely disregard all the time and effort he's put in and buys through somebody else, that buyer is now responsible for compensating Jose. Now, of course, to get to the point where you're collecting money, people are gonna have to lawyer up, and nobody wants to do that. But you shouldn't get to that situation that often, because the whole purpose of the agreement is for them to commit to you. For them to understand that this is a formal relationship that you are engaging in. And notice the way he mentioned it, because it's exactly how we teach it. You could go and sit down and say, before I even show you a single property, you gotta sign this and sign it right now. Well, guess what? 90% of people are going to say thank you, but no thank you.
Right.
But you should always introduce it at your first meeting, and then you have the ability to pull it back. So you can go ahead and say, listen, before I show any properties or commit to working with anyone, I need to have this agreement signed. I'm gonna give you a second to take a look at it. In essence, you're formally committing to letting me represent you. However, it might be premature to get you to do that right now because I haven't even demonstrated what I'm capable of yet. So why don't we do this? Why don't I show you a few properties? And if by the end of showing you those initial properties, you're not ready to make an offer on one of those and you want to continue looking, we'll revisit it at that time. And I'm sure based on what I've demonstrated, we will not have any issues or concerns or hesitations in getting you to go ahead and commit to working with me.
Kissing that.
What's that?
I guess.
No, I like that. But see, what happens is do you ever get people push back and say, I don't want to sign it?
Yes.
Okay, that's the thing. So how do you handle the pushback?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes they don't know me enough. Sometimes they want more time. And it's okay with me as far as they are committed. Sometimes I got to sign that at the time that they want to put an offer. And I said, okay, you want to put an offer, you also have to sign this.
Okay.
And they are more.
Okay, so let me ask you, give me three, I'll give it to you. I'll give you 3 reasons why typically somebody won't sign it. All right, number 1, they don't understand it. The confused mind says no. So if they don't understand it, take responsibility that you didn't present it well enough. Don't say, well, you're not getting it. Don't ever say you're not getting it. You say, wait a minute, maybe I didn't present it properly, because when presented properly and I outline the value it creates and the protection it creates, that should dispel a lot of those concerns. So that's reason 1. Explain it properly. Number 2 is that they're already working with somebody else and don't want to commit to you. Well, when do you want to find that out? Now. Number 3, they have no intention of being loyal to you. So when do you want to find that out? Now. Now at the end, there's always going to be someone that says, I refuse to sign it. Now you make a business decision. You can't say, I will never show property to anyone that doesn't sign it. That's ridiculous. It's a case-by-case scenario. You just know that if you decide to do it that way, you don't have the protection that you should and need. So how many of you can we get to start using that form all the time? Okay. Consuelo?
I have a question. I was using the form one time because I knew that the person was using another realtor. Obviously, she didn't sign.
Right.
I'm happy because I don't have to be a taxi driving around the city. But I really, do we have a class in here that we discuss the contract?
No, team, have we ever had training on
Yeah,
this?
no, training on that one specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, team, have we ever had any training on that one specifically?
I haven't.
Yes, my love, we have,
Okay.
and yes, we will.
When?
When?
Because I really want it.
Okay, well, we will do it.
January. Okay.
No, I don't want to go that long. We'll squeeze it in the beginning of December. Wait a minute, are you telling me that's not good enough?
I'm not going to be here.
Oh, see it now. We'll do it on Facebook Live.
I have a good reason, okay? My third daughter is going to have a baby.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, that's a good
Okay.
reason.
Well, the beautiful part is we're putting many of these, if not all these trainings on Facebook Live for our
Okay.
group, and so you'll have access
Because I have
to it
some
anywhere.
questions about some points in there.
Okay.
I didn't understand it well.
All right, so let's do this. Let's give it up for Jose. All right, folks, we're going to have a very special presentation, but while it takes a couple minutes for us to set up, why don't you guys take this opportunity to go get some coffee, go get a Danish. Let's go ahead and pause the live right now. Just go ahead and hit there, and we'll come back to it. So take about 5 to 7 minutes. That's all, 5 to 7 minutes. Go get some coffee, go get some breakfast, and then sit back down. And they're off.
One of the reasons I didn't want to do general was because of what you guys just talked about. I mean, I've been in pre-construction since 2000, and at a certain point in time when the market crashed and everything, I tried to do general, and oh my God, did I drive me to the ground. And if you're not an expert at it, your first time doing general.
Did you hit post, Patrick?
Huh?
When you hit finish, did you hit post?